This is Trekland HQ, and we're live. So it must be Trekland Tuesdays Live with me, Dr. Trek, Larry Nemecek, coming here from the home of Trekland right through Portal 47 every week to you for clarity, sanity, and the big picture in everything Star Trek. Hope you're with us today. It's great to see everybody populating in. I think you're there. We will soon see. Hey, everybody. Lots going on today. Yes. Me, well, your thoughts, reactions on Lower Decks, mine on Discovery 3.1 as an episode. A lot to get onto. Plus, some big news. Now, look, if you're new to Trekland Tuesdays Live, I'll have my little sermonette up front. Then we'll take a break. I will be diving into all this lovely chat comment, all the lively Q&A here. We'll also do a look at, as we do every week, the Parrot Analytics streaming TV ratings in the U.S. A lot of news on that front this week. A lot of people have been wondering what they would reveal about the streaming original shows, and we have news this week. We've also got news, numbers-wise, of a lot of different kinds. So be tuned for that after the midway break. If you're with us on YouTube, it'll be a nice compact show. But if you're watching live, which I invite you to do every week here at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. British, 7 Central Europe time, we get into the Q&A after the break. So, hey, Twitch, we'll be there with you after the break. So don't be annoyed, okay? Hang in. But listen, last week, actually the last 10 days, I 2 times ran a poll on my Trekland news list. If you're not on my newsletter, it's a great time to jump over. In fact, right now, you can get on the list and get in line for the open house, which is free to everybody. Week from tomorrow, we're going to be announcing the guest here in just a couple of days, but you can grab your seat now. It's all free. But that gets you on the news list. And if you're on the news list, you can take part in my usually once a month surveys. This month, now that Lower Decks is finished up, I just kind of did an after-action poll to see what people thought. So, yeah, so we had about 8% responding out of the whole list. So that was a pretty good bunch. So I basically said, what were your wind-up thoughts about Lower Decks? Okay, and I offered about 8 or 9 options there. So here's what we do. I had several that were no takers. So out of this sample, again, the sample of my list, don't have the tech or the gear to stream, 0, which is something that's gone down. Oh gosh, in COVID times, we have a lot more people who are just tech savvy, much less, virtual reality savvy here on the AV. I'm waiting for the DVD Blu-rays, 0. I'm going to binge it and watch Discovery free, 0. I'm going to binge it on a free week on its own, 0. And people who said, well, the characters and the plots are meh, but boy, those visuals, 0 on that. So what I did get a reaction from was I'm outside the US and Canada. I wish I could watch it. 2.7%. All right. Then we had the I did not watch it and I do not plan to. 8.1%. You see where this is going? Then I had an answer that was, well, it's nice, but it's just not my type of humor. That was 18.9%. So nearly 1 in 5, 20%. Yeah, you're seeing where this is going, right? That was the number 3 answer. The number 2 answer was, I was skeptical, but it won me over. We got 29.7%. So almost a third of the pie wound up in Lower Decks camp. And the biggest chunk, though, 40%, 40.5%. Hey, I was excited early, and I was not disappointed. So wherever you came in is what I was trying to get to. Wherever your expectation game was on Lower Decks, it's been fun to watch the reaction online. But again, online fandom is not all fandom, right? And my news list, I think, is a pretty good demo of people who are not online all the time. There's ways to sample all that. So there you go. Hey, if you are not on my list and you want to get a part of these polls and surveys as I do them, as well as the rest of news of what's going on in Trekland, I don't so much opine on my newsletter anymore. I do that here, and I do that on blog, and I do that on other people's podcasts. But still, a lot of events, a lot of things going on, and I try to give the ability of my news list, which is a different population than online, give them a chance to sound off, and I keep these to there. And it's interesting that of that group, 40%, the biggest chunk, already were subscribing to All Access or whatever in Canada, and we're ready to watch it, and we're not disappointed. And another third were skeptical, but now they're fans. So right there, that's 70% of my news list sampling return, right? We'll see. And then another 20% politely, civilly said, it's not my type humor, but they were at least decent enough to respond. So right there, that's 90% right there. Just very interested that some of the sidebar excuses or excuses, reasons, were no show this time around. Very interesting. Hey guys, I went to the premiere last week, the digital premiere for Discovery. I know I have been preaching for a year that just by setting the format of the show 1,000 years, however that played out, whether it would really be 1,000 years by the time we got there, whether they were really on Terra Elysium, and maybe they are, maybe they're not. Mary Terra Elysium has been renamed in this span of time. We'll see. But she's supposed to be in the same span of time as her mother in the red suit was going back and forth. The bottom line is we were all predicting this is the most stable turnover yet of a new season. If you thought season 2 was holding the beer of season 1, or season 1, you know what I mean. Season 3 is another quantum leap forward. I've been saying for months, my basic review line of Discovery is, and we were not going to spoil too much here, but although it has been a week, guys, but the bottom line here is I think Discovery has finally found a way to be comfortable in its own skin. And it's showing that. And if you saw the premiere, you know what I'm talking about. And a lot of Ryan Britt had a great piece today about how Discovery may be stitching together every other Star Trek canon, even though we were supposed to be beyond canon in the timeline. Everything is in their rearview mirror, and they may be stitching together in a big way everything, including Enterprise and the unanswered questions about the temporal Cold War. So I'm not going to spoil any more. Just to know that the people who are looking at it and seeing Michael Burnham, guest star A and guest star B, and a lot of random aliens, and saying, oh, look, it's still the Michael Burnham show. Well, A, yes, she's the lead character. But even more so, B, the rest of the ship is out there. The rest of the cast and crew are out there. We had the chance to see both episodes, the first 2 episodes, at that digital premiere. The second was a surprise. But you've seen the season promos. You know Saru and Tilly and everybody are still around. You've even seen the reunion moments. So, yeah, the rest of the cast is there. In fact, guys, it drops tonight in the U.S. in 24 hours and almost in the rest of the world. You'll see the rest of the crew in the second episode, okay? In part 2. So that's kind of a thing. Now, it's just kind of cool if you were the digital thing. Some of the big swag boxes went out, apparently ran out, but some of you have seen online sharing, I call this the Sesame Street logo. You've heard it in the promos, so it's not a spoiler. Where's the burn is the big, ooh, it's kind of like the Red Angel of this season so far. I think it's going to be a little more meaningful and nuanced and fleshed out, though. And, of course, the new star is Grudge the Cat. They're a Maine Coon. Given a lot of people a lot of fun. And this yet another Starfleet logo that already the graphics folks are noticing has not been in the graphics of the show, so maybe it's a nice ad agency add-on that everybody fell in love with after the fact. The other thing today, aside from the fact that I forgot to mention that it's a third Tuesday, so hang on for the third Tuesday offer, 24-hour flash deal from Trekland at the end of the show, right? And I forgot to thank our Patreons. Yay, guys. Thank you so much, right? Okay. I'll give everybody a shout out on the other side there, but thanks guys for helping us out with the Patreon system. But the other thing is, I've just mislaid it. Where did it go? There it is. This came in the mail just today. Yes, address safe. So let's do, I was doing openings last week. Woo. I saw these online this morning already, but in case you didn't, it's another thank you for being there last week. And, a cloth version. You can go to Space Camp with this, of the new logo. These aren't stickers. These are nice cloth patches. Well, look, it's like the Well Committee fundraisers all over again. Very nice. A UFP, diminished UFP. I have time traveled to the future and brought this back from the UFP gift shop on Heme, apparently, and another Discovery patch. Hey, cool. I don't know where the budget's coming from for all this promo for everybody who was at that digital event last week, but that's cool. Yeah. Once again, it's like it's Discovery's time to get on the we've been inundated online. If you're an online fan, we've been inundated with the whole backlash of the women of color leads and the Michael Burnham show and the Mary Sue. But if you take the time, where's the rest of the crew? Blah, blah, blah. This really is a fundamentally different tone show. Now, if you want to go off on why it takes 3 years to get to the final output of a show, aside from, that's the way all Star Trek is, which is not the ideal way to do TV. Star Trek exists in a rarefied world. Most of the time, not the last 2 years on UPN for Enterprise, sadly, or not the original series on NBC, but most of the time Star Trek is the golden child and gets treated that way, thank goodness, and it makes itself get there because it's a complicated thing. It's got to make, the longer it goes, we're 54 years and counting here, if you count debut, the longer it goes, the more expectations it's got to live up to, the more people it has to satisfy, and the learning curve for people who weren't 50-year fans can be steep. Hell, the production curve, learning curve for people who were 50-year fans can be steep because it's not you. It's not Kirsten putting her words down on paper with one editor. It's a whole bunch of people. It's a whole bunch of people. That well-oiled machine we talk about from the Berman era, we all remember it took the first 2 years of Next Gen to get there. That's what's going on. The well-oiled machine is getting up to snuff. If there's some broken parts from a rusty garage when it's been not used for a few years, hello motion picture, hello Next Generation, hello Discovery, then that's going to happen. That's going to happen. And if you say, well, TV shows shouldn't do that, they should be a hit out of the park, or else they should get out of town. Well, that could be true. The natural laws of the jungle of TV and media would call for that. But again, the people who are hosting and the people who are parenting Star Trek from birth to whatever, every iteration, always give it TLC because they know the eventual power. They know the eventual power on humanity and an audience, and they also know the potential earning power just as a green-blooded capitalist. On both fronts, when you get those in sync, it can be a wonderful thing. And Star Trek is worth shepherding with care. And my point is, there is a tone about if you can take a time, if you can take a moment to take a breath, put all that you may have thought about Discovery aside, and now don't let me raise the bar too much. But if you can take a breath and see what's coming, you might say it's this gorgeous location landscape filming from Iceland. You may say it's seeing all the Easter egg aliens from the established worlds, but there's still a lot of questions going. You get the feeling that they're in command with the way they're trying to, not just for fanboy, fangirl service, but to say, use the universe. And I think the effect of having not just Kirsten there, but having Dayton, novelist, Dayton Ward, as an advisor, as a consultant, the way the books have done the last few years of combining all aspects of canon to tell these really intricate tales far more intricately than we're going to think ever TV could attempt. Well, you know what? We may be in for a treat to see exactly what having a breather, having a stable production environment, having it be no drama, having all the wheels in sync, the levels and depths of a plot. I could be overarching here, but between the first and second, and seeing some of the touchstones that are being laid out there, and not in a way where it's alienating first-time viewers, much less fairly recent young fans, people who've even come to the fold since Enterprise. And guys, that's been 15 years. A lot of Star Trek fans were not here for the first run of Enterprise. Thank you, Kelvin Movies, but also thank you, Netflix, for being there to let people binge watch. So anyway, as I have been predicting for a year, I'm very upbeat about this year of Discovery, about the team that's working on it, even as a lot of them do, like Erica and Boy do double dealing on trying to set up their own double dealing. That sounds pejorative. Double time setting up Section 31, for example. But if you're giving it a try, I think you're going to see, we just had this huge swing, as my poll pointed out, a big chunk of fandom coming around to Lower Decks and getting it. Those are big questions. Comedy, animation, how would this look? I didn't like the animated series. I didn't like TAS. Why would I like this? A lot of questions answered for a lot of people. That big Star Trek buffet, we may finally getting a taste. If you couldn't visualize it, if you had to actually touch and feel everything and see it and hear it, that may be rolling out. I think in another year or so, and we've got news now of the plan till 2017, why not, just how big this buffet may look, how many varied flavors. It may be on more than one table. We may have a table in different rooms for a different cuisine. Oh, there's the film noir table. Oh, there's the room for animation. Oh, there's the room for comedy. There's the room for, slam bang sci-fi adventure. There's the room for the Star Trek Federation West Wing, political intrigue. Section 31 is already going to be interesting, depending on how exactly they take it in tone. So, yeah, I keep saying the new golden age. I get mocked for that sometimes. We'll see. But the potential is certainly there. And the people who are trying to tie all this on Alex, by and large, it doesn't take a village. It takes a city to do a Star Trek. We're having a guest on Portal 47 who is one of the many, many creative names having a big impact that you won't see in the credits. I know you see pages and pages more credits at the end than you ever did in the Berman era, but there are still tons of people who work for vendors, people who are on crews, who the crew chief is still, and maybe top one or two, are still the only ones cited. There's still more names putting out an hour of Discovery than you ever see on screen at the end. And yeah, it takes a village. It takes that well-oiled machine getting up to speed. I think this season of Discovery conceptually, I think execution-wise, it's been there, but in delivering the goods conceptually, writing-wise, with all the creatives in tow, we'll see how they, bring up the rear here. The writers are driving it. Everybody else, all the creatives, are bringing it to the screen. We'll see what's going on with that, because everything is evolving. Star Trek Next Generation looked good, but it took them 3 years to get to Marvin Rush as the DP and establish the real look, guys. So, I don't know. We've got comments. We've got the chat going on after the break here. I'll see what you guys are thinking. Did I get to everything? I think I did. I even, had an unboxing here for you. Yay. So, hey, if you're leaving us right now, I will be back after the break with the Parrot Analytics with some exciting news. Yes, I'll just tell you on YouTube, Discovery is in the top 10 in the U.S. Ding. How about pulling a headline? And a lot of other interesting tidbits I'm going to share too. That'll be after the break, as well as all of our chat Q&A. So if you're leaving me on YouTube right now, for one thing, you're welcome to come over and join us on Facebook. But hey, it is Third Tuesday. Before we go here, I want to promise you, Third Tuesday, 24-hour special between now and 3 p.m. Pacific tomorrow. That's Wednesday, right? October 21st. If you're catching this right that soon, 24-hour special. I'm bringing it out of the closet because we're still there. We're spiking again with COVID. It's maybe going to be unsure for a while. I would love to have you join us in the portal. The open house is next week, but even ahead of that, it's free next week. But right now, you can jump in. I'm bringing this back. It's back on my front page, the button to click. I'm calling it the super simple sample 3-for-2 offer. 3 months of 3 months of Portal 47 for the price of 2, right? Do that. It's taken the place of our canceled cons. The virtual conventions have been so amazing. Virtual TrekCon. I feel like I've not been on camera this way in ages. I did 5 days of virtual boothing. We had a panel Monday morning. It's all up there. You can still go back and find it. Plus the Tribble event I did a couple weeks ago. Plus the cocktail party for Improvised Generation. A couple of weeks before that was wonderful and lovely, and got a chance to do some interviewing in short bits. Yeah, the virtuals are going to wind down as we get into winter. You are going to want a mini con all year long. Jump over with us on this 24-hour special right now if you want to, if you can. Love to have you. We've got some Portales here in the chat, I know. Otherwise, guys, again, I want to thank all of our Patreons there in the TTL Club. Hey, Blaze K, Lawrence Todd, Blake Arledge, thank you guys. And our live wires, yes, indeedy. You would not know it. This is our $5 level. This is our $10 level. So thank you guys. I keep it simple. It's not a complicated system. So thanks, Rusty. Thanks, Jared. Thanks, Mr. Vestek. Thanks, Halbjorn. Thanks, Jay Lynn. Thanks, Gary. Thanks, Robert. And thanks, Eli. And hey, you know what? They patreon.com/ whatever your creator is. Mine is /Trekland Live. Jump in. They do this at the end of the month. It's Patreon. You can support all kinds of creatives there. Go take a look at the catalog. Find me if you'd like to. Find others and support them too in whatever scale you want to. They bill it at the end of the month, so there's time for you to get in this month and show up next. I really appreciate it, guys. You can tell this last year it's helped me, and it's helped the show that I do on Saturdays in a small way. Life Support Live with Dr. Ali Matu, Dr. Trek. One of us is a real doctor, and we're boldly going through uncertain times. We did do a panel, a short 1-hour panel yesterday for virtual TrekCon, but we'll be back with our normal community, our regular 2-hour format Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. I say morning, it's Pacific relative, 1 p.m. Eastern. Hey, that's only 6 p.m. British and 7 Central. Come in, join us. We have a great time. We geek out on Trek and send you with some takeaways for daily life. Life Support Live. And, of course, the Trek Files. We are still on hiatus. We're taking a breather through everything else crazy going on. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. We're right there at the Roddenberry Network. Trek Files on Facebook or podcast.roddenberry.com to get all the Roddenberry podcasts. There's a couple of new ones on the way, but I'm not going to say anything more about that. But all the good ones are there too. Trek Files on that. Guys, if you're leaving me right now, hey, find me. If you're on YouTube, it's the same. That's my Twitter handle, just Larry Nemecek. If you're watching on Facebook right now, that's my Instagram handle. Love for you to come over for the pretty world of Instagram. In fact, I'm going to be running a poll pretty soon. I don't know how big Instagram is with the Trek community, but I'm going to poll about that. We'll see. And portal47.net, your minicon all year long. Take advantage. This is a time when we've got the 3-for-2 offer. Jump over there. But it's a 24 hours. It's a third Tuesday. We do that every month. Something special. Guys, if you are going away right now, just please. It's crazy out the world, in case you hadn't noticed. So do all you can, please, to stay healthy. Stay woke. And by that, I mean check all the sources. Don't be suckered. And most of all, Trek well, everybody.